Fuck you. God damn it.
Welcome back, everybody.
I hate you.
Another exciting week, and we tried to give Matt the introduction this week because my notoriously horrible introductions, but Matt dropped the ball. Right?
Yeah. Much like both my teams this weekend, I dropped the ball. Yep.
We'll get into that later. I want to hear
Yeah.
I want to hear from the Wisconsin fan. That's what I want to hear. How about that game on Friday?
Right? I know. I couldn't believe it. I think it was exactly like what we talked about, right? Where we talked about Graham Mertz. Is he going to live up to the hype? Coming out, I was really nervous they were going to run the football. And like I said, there wasn't really that trusted running back yet. And I think that beginning of that game would show like the running backs really didn't do a whole lot that entire game. I mean, towards the end after, Graham had been throwing for a while. But I think they would have gotten into trouble early if they weren't throwing. So I'm happy they came out throwing. But I mean, geez, what can you say for a freshman start for Graham Mertz? I mean, that is insane. All those touchdowns. What blew me away, I think, the most was just how relaxed he was, how calm he was under like pressure. He didn't make any dumb mistakes. He just, if it wasn't there, he would run it for like 3 or 5 yards and just run out of bounds. I was blown away by that. I couldn't believe that. And then, really the defense stepped up too. The defense didn't allow any points at all that entire game. The only score for Illinois came from a Jake Ferguson fumble. But, he redeemed himself with 3 touchdowns, so I'm fine with that little hiccup. But no, just like we talked about, like he's a huge playmaker. Him and Graham connected 3 times. And really, I mean, he was just accurate. I don't really know what else to say other than I'm really, really excited about his future at Wisconsin. I'm sure, I know I told you guys before we started recording, there's some news tonight that just broke that he had tested positive for the coronavirus. So the problem now is going to be, how long is he out? When do we get him back? Luckily, we play Nebraska next, and then after Nebraska, Purdue. And then we follow that up the third game, or technically the 4th game of the season with Michigan. So that's the game we really, really need him back for. We'll see if that happens. Big Ten protocol is 21 days that a player has to sit. He tested positive yesterday. So the 21st day would be the Saturday of 11/14, the Michigan game. So will they let him play on the 21st day, or will they make him wait, until he can do anything until the 22nd day? I don't know. I think that's going to be a huge question, the next few weeks. But yeah, I don't know. It was a wild game. Disappointing news tonight, but I'm still very excited for the future.
Matt?
Yeah, I loved his stat line. I mean, that was unbelievable. 20 of 21. I think it was almost 300 yards or right over 300 yards.
I think it was just about, yeah.
Just about 300. Yeah, and then I think you definitely found your connection too with him and Ferguson. That looks like that's going to be a fun matchup every. And what killed me was that 2 of y'all's touchdowns were the same play, and Illinois got fooled on it both times. That little naked bootleg, and Ferguson's wide open in the back of the end. That was awesome. But yeah, Wisconsin definitely showed there, even with new guys at key positions, are still going to be a threat in the Big Ten, the almighty Ohio State Buckeyes, as they like to say. But
yeah.
I could say plenty of bad words about Ohio State, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. Alex, I just thought going into the game, it was kind of a perfect storm for Wisconsin as far as opening up and being a lot more balanced in their play calling. Obviously, you lose one of the most legendary running backs in Wisconsin football history. The coronavirus, not enough time for those running backs behind him to prepare, because he got the bulk of the carries last year, didn't he? I mean, he got
just about all of them.
Yeah, pretty much every carry was his.
Right.
And then with Colin going down with the foot injury, you had to play a freshman that gave you pretty good. I mean, obviously a pretty good arm. We all have to see that, but I think that was what you were talking about in the preview video. And then look at the sphere of college football in general. You're just not seeing those Wisconsins. You're not seeing the traditional Alabamas. You're not seeing the traditional LSUs. The grind it out on the ground over and over and over again. It's just not working. And if you want to reach over the top, which Wisconsin has been at the pinnacle I think this offense can get it done. Now we'll see with Mertz being out with COVID. We'll see how that affects him. Hopefully they can keep winning. I know it's really concerning. I messaged you. Now you don't have Cone, and now you don't have Mertz. So Wisconsin's going down to the third string quarterback. At least, how long is Cone going to be out?
I don't think they put a date on it yet. They just said indefinitely. So yeah. I don't know. It opens the door. We have two additional quarterbacks there that both are pretty good. But worst case scenario, right? Like quarterbacks hang out with other quarterbacks on the sideline.
Yeah.
So who knows what's about to happen? Hopefully nothing. No one else tests positive. But I don't know. The numbers aren't in our favor with that. But I think that, the next quarterback in line, I believe, is Chase Wolf. He's actually from St. X here in Cincinnati. So I'm excited, see what he can do. I don't think he'll be as talented as Graham Mertz, but we're going to need someone that's going to pass because that run game isn't going to get you, it isn't going to pull you away in big games. I feel like without a run or without a pass game, you're going to be in a tight race with Nebraska and potentially, Purdue, or you're going to keep that game closer than it should be, which, might result in upsets. So I don't know.
Are you guys going down there? Are you traveling?
I believe for Nebraska, it's at Nebraska, and I think Purdue is at home. But like we know, the Big Ten, there's really I think Purdue is allowed to have fans, but I know Wisconsin isn't. So
Indiana didn't care.
Indiana didn't care.
So Wisconsin's going to be a little bit different.
Sorry to segue, but the Indiana crowd, it was hilarious because on one side of the field there was like two people, and there was only like a handful of people like crunched up at the 50-yard line, and then on the other side it looked like it was completely packed. At least from the camera angle from the broadcast. Right? I didn't watch the whole game and see all.
Yeah.
But especially the game-winning touchdown that guy had. It looked like there was like 30 people just like packed together right in front of him. Oh man, that's another stadium you gotta go to, Matt. I want to do Camp Randall. I don't want to
Camp
go.
Randall.
I would rather go to Camp Randall than the Big House. I would Camp Randall, the Shoe, and Happy Valley are the Big Ten ones. I want to go.
Yeah. Those would be awesome.
Yeah, Ohio State, the Shoe's definitely a stadium I want to go to and see a game. I definitely want to check out the Big House. I figured it'd be with the tradition that's there, it'd still be fun. But yeah,
you gotta go to Indiana sometime. You want to talk about straight up that stadium? It does not slope.
Yeah, it's weird.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been to Indiana. Camp Randall. I'm trying to think of any other Big Ten. I mean, I try to make it to the Big Ten championship every year since it's right over in Indy. So anytime, the Badgers go, I go and watch them lose to Ohio State, unfortunately. But no, I think Camp Randall is definitely, it is insane there. I went a few years ago. It was when Ohio State was like, they were either 1 or 2, and I think Wisconsin was 3, and they faced off in October, and it went to double overtime, and Ohio State ended up winning, but still it was a fun game. Are
you going this year to the Big Ten if Wisconsin goes?
No, not this year. Just with the baby being born, being extra safe. There'll be plenty more in the future.
Yeah, I was the same way. me and my dad, we were going to Neyland this year down in Tennessee.
Okay.
I've been there 5 times, all for Kentucky games, and watched Kentucky lose every single time. I was like, I got to go down there and watch Florida beat up on them in their stadium. And then, of course, COVID made that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Matt, you want to tell us about the SEC nooner?
Yeah, the SEC noon kickoff, it was Auburn and Ole Miss. Pretty back and forth game. Auburn ended up winning by 7. Auburn outgained Ole Miss 462 to 444, which was really surprising. First time, I guess, Auburn's offense actually decided to show up this year. Yeah. So, yeah. But the one stat that kind of stuck out to me was Matt Corral got held to 161 yards passing. That was something that I was that was something I was really surprised by, considering he's averaging 300 plus every game. Yeah. But Auburn went in there and shut him down. So,
do you think that was a little bit gun shy, or do you think that Auburn's DB shut him down?
I think he was a little bit gun shy because, I mean, what did he do at Arkansas last week? He threw 6 interceptions. So it just.
And he started the day off throwing another one.
Yeah, and he started the day off by throwing another one. So, yeah, but that was definitely a very surprising score to me. I thought Ole Miss was going to win that game for sure.
How much did I caught a little bit of it? How much did Plumlee play?
He didn't play much. Kiffin didn't really throw any packages in there for him. It was funny because he keeps getting mad about all the play calling, but yet he's the mastermind behind the offense. So.
Yeah, he had only 1 pass and 8 rushing attempts. So I guess other than that, whenever he just handed the ball off.
Yeah.
Man. Did you see that game, Alex?
Yeah, so I saw I really saw more towards the end of it. I was watching a little bit more of the Ohio State Nebraska at the first half, at least, when it was a little bit close. But no, definitely saw the ending. Man, oh man, does Auburn get lucky. I mean, that's crazy. I feel like, I don't know. I felt so bad for Ole Miss. I don't know what it is with Auburn football getting away with stuff like that, but that was crazy. It's crazy that it happened twice already this season, and we're like at the early stage of the season. But no, I mean, it seemed though, one thing I noticed, I think their quarterback, who is it, Nix, and who is the wide receiver that we're fighting last week? Williams, yeah. And they seem to figure it out, and they connected to kind of pull ahead and win that game. I think it was in the fourth quarter is when he threw him that touchdown pass to get the lead. But I mean, when they're on the same page, they're good. You know, definitely those two. And I feel like it's hard to deny it, but I don't know. Nix is just so – I don't know. It's just so hit or miss with him, I feel like, since I've been watching him this year. So, I don't know. I don't know if he'll, be their starting quarterback next year or anything like that in case someone else comes in that's a little bit better. But I don't know. We'll see. They got lucky, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw them connect twice for 2 big touchdowns against Kentucky. Those were kind of backbreakers. They were like third down, like – no hope in hell, and they just threw it up, and Steph Williams came down, out-muscled the guy for it. So he's definitely one of the top 5 receivers in the SEC, especially now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't see it. So I'm sorry, guys. I was literally Saturday was the craziest day ever. What caused them to? What I didn't see the kickoff or whatever, the fumble that everybody's going on about. What happened there? Anybody explain that one to me?
It basically what happened was Ole Miss they just gone down to take the 26 lead, and what happened was the Auburn returner, it grazed his left hand ever so slightly, and one of the Ole Miss guys recovered it in the end zone, and were saying touchdown. but the ref said no, it was a touchback. So yeah, but if you go back on there, the football very so gracefully touched his left fingertips,
And you could see his fingertip move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could see his fingertip bend a little bit, which was like insane that they didn't look at it.
Now,
I can't believe they didn't look at it.
How much time was left in the game? Because it felt like, because I kind of watched it before that play. I saw them go down and score.
Yeah.
And they took the lead. And then I got caught up with Charlie and Mary Beth. But it felt like it felt like there were like 2 possessions for Auburn after that.
I think it was just the one possession after that. I think that was what gave them the go-ahead, and then I think they cemented it on that. But I think that it happened, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was at least between like 2 and 4 minutes or something like that. I think.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking I was like 6 minutes left to go. I thought there was a couple possessions. I was like, I don't know why people are going on so much about that.
Yeah, no, it definitely was like towards the end, and yeah, it was.
So the next time that Ole Miss got the ball back, there was a minute left, and they were trying to go the length of the field. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next game was the Alabama-Tennessee 3:30 on CBS. Game of the week, Matt.
Yeah. Oh, what a choice, SEC Network. I mean, CBS. Sorry.
They always seem to pick a good one, don't they?
Yeah, they always seem to have a good one lined up.
There's no way. Like, was this really a contractual agreement? Like, I know how they do contractual agreements. Like, you know you're going to see Alabama, LSU on CBS.
Yep.
You know you're going to see Florida and Georgia on CBS. Was this one of those deals where they pre-planned it and they just ended up with Alabama and Tennessee? Or was this like they picked this game?
Yeah. Had to have been, Bo. I mean, there's no other way to explain it.
I'd rather watch I think Vanderbilt had a coronavirus cases, but I would rather see whatever Vanderbilt had going on that week than watch this bloodbath.
Yeah.
But I watched it anyway. And Alabama is just unbelievable. They just cannot be stopped, man. It's a spoil of riches with the wide receivers. I know Waddle went down on the opening play. Trying to run a ball out of the end zone. Did they ever say what the actual injury was? It looked like a
broken ankle.
Yeah. It looked just like the Felipe Franks. I mean, he didn't get rolled up, but the way his like kind of snapped there, it looked like it was one of those. Najee Harris, 3 touchdowns. Like, how you doing, sir? Mac Jones, 387 yards again. 1 sack, 0 INT, 0 touchdowns. It's surprising. I don't know how that worked out. At least according to CBS. I can't imagine he didn't have a single touchdown in the game. Let's go to our favorite team. Tennessee. Look at JT, man. 0 INTs this week. If Gray, the running back for Tennessee, isn't getting over 100 yards, Tennessee's going to lose the ball game. Promise you that. Yeah, they had no hope here. They had 4-16 on 3rd downs. Didn't turn the ball over a lot. But, I mean, let Alabama down in the red zone over and over and over and over. That'll do it for Tennessee. They're downhill slide from there.
Yeah.
Now, hold on a second. Time out. Because historically, this is the Tennessee you get in the first month. And then they go on to win 8 straight games. Now, are we going to get that Tennessee with Florida still on schedule? I don't know. Actually, who else do they have on it? They got Auburn, don't they?
Yeah, they still got to play Auburn. I don't know who else they've got still.
Missouri.
Still got.
Oh, they played them. They beat them.
Oh, they already beat Missouri second week. Yeah. They still got Vandy.
They beat Missouri.
Yeah, they still got Vandy.
Who else did they play in the West? Putting you on the spot. You got to know Tennessee's football schedule by heart.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, I got to know the volunteer schedule by heart here.
Let's just say that it's going to be rocky if they keep playing.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lost cause,
Did you waste?
and I love it too.
Alex, did you waste any of your time on Saturday watching that game?
no, I didn't.
Good
I
on
knew,
you.
like, I knew that I just knew it was going to be a complete dumpster fire of a game, and I feel like the only thing that I saw that I talked to you guys about was the injury to their wide receiver. But other than that, no. I was really interested in the Penn State Indiana game at that time, just because, like, I feel like I'm sorry to segue games here a little bit, but I was surprised, like, on College Game Day, I feel like a lot of people were talking about, like, Indiana, like, being really good this year, and, like, they always give Penn State a run for their money, but I don't know. I feel like that I just heard people hyping them up all day, so I just tuned into that one and happy I did.
Yeah, a lot of people in this this conference, they all went on and on about Indiana. I'll let you talk about Alabama, Tennessee, Matt, but a lot of people were just talking about how good of a game they gave Tennessee. And for most of us SEC fans, what does that really even tell you?
Yeah.
We're talking about the same team that lost to Georgia Southern and BYU. Go ahead about Alabama, Tennessee.
Their other West opponents they go to Arkansas and they come home and play Texas A&M in back-to-back weeks.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
So
who else does Arkansas have in there? Who's their constant? Missouri?
Yeah, it's Missouri. That's their constant East.
Kentucky, the outlier there. But they literally have the 4 best teams. Arkansas got the 4 best teams in the East. Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and Missouri.
There you go.
And Kentucky can flop with Tennessee. But
yeah.
Going into the season, it definitely was scary. Did you see this game, Alabama, Tennessee, Matt?
No, I just saw highlights of it.
Yeah, I don't blame any of you for not watching this game. It was exciting to see the hype up. You know what I mean? And I hate to say that for Tennessee fans, but it was exciting to start the game off. You didn't have any doubt in your mind Alabama was going to win the game. But it does make you feel like it was when you grew up. You know what I mean? Where Alabama wasn't so crazy good. I grew up when I started watching football. Alabama was on the decline. They had kind of swapped SEC championships with Florida in the early mid-90s. And then they started tailing off there the late 90s. And Tennessee was on the high with Peyton Manning. So those were some real fun games watching Tennessee and Peyton Manning. But, Alabama and Peyton Manning. But, the game completely dissolved really quickly. And even, just to watch it for watching the Waddle highlights and stuff like that, I couldn't even rely on that, man. So, the whole time I was just waiting on a Garantano pick just to make the game. But it didn't happen. Very, very, very depressing. CBS needs to get their you-know-what together in that game. Good Lord. Everybody in the country would have rather watched a 2-2 Auburn versus a 1-3 Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Watch Alabama, Tennessee. Ooh.
Yeah. All right. Well, the 4:00 game on SEC Network between my Kentucky Wildcats and the Missouri Tigers. To sum it up shortly for you guys, it was a shit show on Kentucky's part. Missouri basically beat us at our own game. Grind it out, control the clock, defense do what he needed to do, but we couldn't decide on what QB we wanted to use. Defense got shat on because offense couldn't do nothing. So, and I had a sneaky suspicion, even though I was thinking the reschedule was going to be better for having Missouri here instead of Georgia, I had a sneaky suspicion, are we going to be caught up in the hype of beating the shit out of Tennessee, or are we going to look forward to Georgia? Well, guess what? One of those two reasons was true because Missouri dominated our ass from start to finish.
Yeah.
So it was horrible. God, it was awful. Back to the same old Kentucky right there, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question I posed to you at the beginning here about whether or not you think it was Terry Wilson or Eddie Grant, do you have a better feeling of who to blame for this offense?
Okay. I will tell you guys this much. I have not blamed Eddie Grant for any loss that we have had since he's been here until yesterday. I said I joined the hashtag fire Eddie Grant. Get that asshole out of here. I don't know what that man was doing. Don't know what he was doing.
Nah. I never know.
You come out with three. We're a run first team, but yet we come out with 3 straight passes and we get 5 yards. That's it. Like what the hell are you doing? So I fire Eddie Grant is all I have to say.
Absolutely. Which is crazy because like he was on the hot, like for most Kentucky fans, he was on the hot seat going into last year. And then Terry goes down and he has to play Lynn Bowden quarterback. And then everybody and their brother, best offensive coordinator in the country because look what he had to deal with and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, God, like Kentucky fans are going to be pissed. And then obviously, not much said in the offseason about Grant. It's starting to rear its ugly head again. He's just so like he's like one of those coaches that want to like outsmart you on like everything instead of just beating your brains in when he knows he has a mismatch. Yeah, and that's what drives me nuts about watching his coach games. I actually remember on Uncle Lou Collins show, somebody was Alex. If you don't know who Uncle Lou is, I gotta bless you with that content. He is a YouTuber.
Okay.
His videos are. He's a Georgia fan, but anyway, one of the callers on his call-in show was sitting there singing high praises of Eddie Grant earlier. It sounds like this is gonna blow up this guy's face. Give him a game or two, but yeah. This game was ugly. I really didn't want to watch a lot of the game. I had to watch the Alabama-Tennessee game for purposes of this video. But every time I kept wanting to switch it over, I saw the score line. It was like, no, it's just not. Just such a slow game.
Yeah.
Not expected. I figured if it was going to be a slow game, it would be more because of Kentucky's defense. Kentucky would be an advantage, but Kentucky just could not move the ball consistently at all.
No.
Alex, did you catch this game at all? Or were you watching Penn State Indiana game most of the time?
Pretty much watching the Penn State Indiana game, but I did catch the highlights. Pretty low scoring game, and just getting the information from you guys as well. I don't really have anything else on this. I know you guys are more the experts in this game, but yeah, I mean, it's just weird. Like, Kentucky can go and beat some people and hang in with some people, but then, you get a game like this. But I still think, they're really good for upsets. They're like one of my favorite upset teams. I remember, I don't know if it's often, but I remember, like, I guess I would have been in maybe middle school when Kentucky upset Florida. You remember that? Like, it would have been a long, long time ago. And I think, like, Florida was, like, one of the top teams in the nation at that time. And I think they took them to, like, double or triple or overtime or something. But they're always good for that, like, one random, like, upset. Or they'll take, like, Georgia the distance or whoever. So I don't know. I still think they have a good team. And, who knows if they're going to upset anybody this season.
Yeah. I believe that was LSU you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, it was. It wasn't Florida. It was LSU. You're right.
LSU.
You're right. Yeah.
Your dad may have not been born when Kentucky beat Florida. Last.
But yeah, before 2018, that our parents were in school last time we beat. Last time we beat Florida.
All right, what was the next game? Next game was oh god. So called it. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. LSU by a mile. The line was 7 points in this game. Whoever came up with that is a complete idiot. Now I thought that Miles Brennan would be the quarterback, so I'm partially right. Miles Brennan again was not available for this game. I thought they would be able to get him back with having a pseudo bye week last week. But man, the backup quarterback came in. Let me see his name again. Finley. TJ. Oh my goodness, man. LSU is just spoiled with quarterbacks right now. I have 2 quarterbacks now that are throwing. Finley only got 265 yards. Here's the weird thing. Let me segue real quick. Why, I don't understand this. LSU fans are screaming for Finley. Unless I'm not seeing something, I don't understand why. I mean, Brennan's throwing for over 300 yards a game. They're scoring just as many points, but Finley's throwing for less, and somehow that makes him a better option. I guess because he gives you a dual threat capability. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, he had an impressive game against South Carolina. And South Carolina is probably one of the better defenses that LSU's played this season. Yeah. So, this game was out of hand really quickly. LSU led by multiple scores at halftime. Ended up being 52-24. I think so far in every single one of these games, we all picked the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Have to even go over those. We all picked LSU in this game. Yep. Oh, here's another thing I noticed throughout this game. Will Muschamp, classic Muschamp, he's got a kicker that's missing field goals left and right. And what's he do on 4th and short? Just sends his kicker back in again. He's down by 3 touchdowns. And he's like, just throw him. Let's see if he misses another one. Oh man, did you guys catch any of this game at all?
I got to catch probably about 10, 15 minutes of it. And when I first turned it on, it was back and forth a little bit there at the beginning.
Yeah.
But the next time I turned it on, LSU was up 31-10, and I was like, "Yeah, this is over. This is no point."
Yeah, I think I caught.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I caught same as Matt. Like I caught bits and pieces for like a few minutes. I think I turned it on when I think it was towards the end of the game when they ran back the kickoff. LSU ran back the kickoff for a touchdown.
Yeah,
and then I was like, all right,
which is crazy. That was crazy. A muffed kickoff return, and he runs it back to that. Another thing that was on in the game, Orgeron tried to challenge the spot on the field. It was a 1st and goal situation, and they had the ball at the 4-yard line, and he wanted to see if they were down. The runner was down at the 2-yard line. So that was kind of good to see. But I've never seen it done before. But the ruling is that you can't challenge a play that doesn't have first down implications or touchdown implications. So that was interesting to me. I didn't know that. But Edwards' stubbornness in that game showed me the way on that. Alex, I want to talk about the game that you boys probably watched.
Yeah, so the night game that I watched was the Michigan at Minnesota. This one was kind of hard, I feel like, for all of us to pick because we really didn't know, who knows with Minnesota. They've been on the up and up the past few years, but really, does that mean they're good or does that just mean, they're overrated in the rankings? And same with Michigan, they have a tendency to blow really big games. But they came there. I feel like, again, College Game Day really hyped up Minnesota. I feel like they kept going over like how the culture has been changing and how it's just like a different football program now. It's not. Like, it's not. And I still like. I don't know. My takeaway from this game was I was pretty impressed with Michigan. Their style of play, it's different this year. I think who is it? Milton, their quarterback, looked pretty good, and I feel like looking ahead for them, I think they're going to match up with Ohio State a little bit better this year, and it's going to be a little bit more exciting than the past matchups, the past previous matchups. Their running back Haskins looked really good. I think just like most games where I feel like it's always close in like that first quarter with most teams, and then you kind of get a feel for who's going to pull away in the second quarter. That was pretty much, I would say right about halftime, after halftime, before halftime, you knew Michigan was going to run away with it, and that's what they did. But Haskins, I thought Michigan's offense looked pretty good. So, we'll see. It's hard week one because you don't have anything to compare them to on the schedule yet. So same with both teams. Maybe one's really good. Maybe they're both not good. So who knows? But just my biggest takeaway is Michigan looked pretty good.
Yeah, we thought Mississippi State was going to light the world on fire.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Matt, what were your takeaways from the Michigan-Minnesota game?
I didn't really get to see much of it. I probably only saw about 5-10 minutes of it. I did see Minnesota strike first and go up 7-0, and they were getting all hyped up. And then next time I looked in on it, Michigan had scored like 24 in a row. So I was like,
right,
yeah. But no, I thought that would be a lot closer game than what it turned out to be because since Harbaugh's been there, I haven't had any faith in Michigan to actually be superior and be a juggernaut. So especially he can't get past, like Alex said, he can't get past Michigan's biggest rival in Ohio State. So, but yeah, I was definitely surprised by the score of that game.
Yeah, I kept flipping it over when I was watching that LSU game, and it seemed like every time Michigan had the ball, Mary Beth's in the background there. What are you doing back there? All right. We're trying to get the house ready to go. We're selling this thing. You guys know, but I don't know if anybody watching this didn't know. We're trying to get this house ready to go, put it on the market. We purchased a new house. We're in the process of closing our new house, and it's exciting times, but hectic times with baby, trying to get everything done.
right.
But anyway, yeah, it just seemed like every time I turned around, Michigan had the ball inside Michigan State's red zone. I think they had a 2-play drive for 8 yards at one point. They had another, fumble or interception, return for a touchdown. It was just Minnesota could not get out of the wrong way. They kept letting Michigan get easy touchdowns, and then obviously at halftime they were vastly uphill battle. Let's say that for them. So this is a game that we deferred on, and I was a loser this week. Yeah, it brought me to 3-3 this week, and the rest of you two 4-2. Let me do a quick addition here. I know yours, Alex, is what would that be, 7-5 on your. You only got to pick the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think you're right.
5 for you. And that and I. Let's see. That brings you to 18 and 13.
Yeah.
And I'm now 18 and 13. No.
Right.
No, I was 2 games ahead of you. So I am 19 and 12.
Oh.
And
Bastard.
I know it. But yet again, for another week at least, I'm still in the lead.
Yeah. Old Gator fan.
I think I'm still beating you by percentages, right, Alex?
I think so, yeah.
Probably could just do the reset on there. Once I lose the lead, we'll talk about resetting. Go back to the last week and see who's the best. All right, well, that'll probably do it for this video. Again, we'll probably have a video coming out on Tuesday as well to go ahead and give you some of our previews. Florida's back. It is Halloween, so I know there's going to be a lot of big games. Kentucky plays Georgia. Wisconsin's got Nebraska. Down in Nebraska. So we'll see. Matt, you got a Halloween costume this week?
Yeah, I'm going to a friend of mine's Halloween party. She's throwing a Harry Potter themed Halloween party, so I'm going to be Dumbledore. I'm going to be Dumbledore.
You're going to be Dumbledore?
Yeah, Dumbledore.
I would have seen you as a Luna Lovegood, but you know.
No, they wanted me to be Dobby, and I was like, no, I'm not going to be Dobby. Hell no. And then I said it'd be Hagrid, and then I was like, no, I'm going to be Dumbledore. Fuck that.
You know, man.
Yeah.
Alex, what about you? You doing any costume parties?
No, I'm in like full blown quarantine mode right now because so Emily's going in to be induced next Monday. So we have to like the next week is like completely locked down, can't go anywhere, so we'll just be hanging out here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I have any Halloween. Maybe that's doing it.
I like Halloween.
Costumes.
Mary Beth, I got anything?
She's like, you're gonna be a painter.
I have plans.
Yeah, you're gonna be a painter. You're gonna be.
You're gonna be Bob the Builder.
Yeah, that's it. Jose, I forgot where I was going. I'm sure I'm about to get chewed out here.
In here, Charlie is going to be the cutest chicken alive ever. So there's that.
There you go. Should have been a gator. Anyway, we'll catch y'all next time on the next video. See ya.